I said, I'll get myself a trainer, you know. And so I says to the guy, I says to him, I says to him, my dad does that when he tells a story. He says, I says too many times. You know?
Yeah.
Because I says to the guy, I says to him, I says to him, I says. So I says to the guy, I says, I never worked out in my life, you know. I've never really exercised. I had weights. I got them weights once, but they were really very heavy. You know? I was taking the airplane there, flying on the airplane, and I get on the airplane, so I got this character beside me, you know, sitting there with me, and he says to me, he says, I really like you on the show there, Fred. He calls me Fred.
Fred.
So
3 days
I
ago.
fly back, you know, and I get on the plane, so I'm sitting beside this character, you know, and the guy says to me, he says, he says, hey, I like you on the show there on the news.